Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Earl, great to see you as always. I love our conversations on the real estate market and what's hot and what's not.
Absolutely, my friend. It's always a good time, we can get together and brainstorm, just putting our 2 cents in on some of the madness per se.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there is a lot of madness. If you watch the news, it sounds like the sky is falling on real estate. Values are going to plummet. Rates are unreasonably ridiculous. But that's
Right.
really the real story, is it?
No, it's not. It's not at all. And like we were talking previously, that's the issue that most people are having right now. With all the confusion and the sky's falling scenarios, people don't quite understand the difference between deceleration and depreciation. And I'll touch on that just a little bit. As they know, deceleration just basically means things slow down. Doesn't mean that they stop. Where depreciation means that things have lost value over a period of time, which is not the real estate market in any, thought of the word or aspect, period. We are actually, I think, on an average right now, our average appreciation year to year is about 4.29%, So yeah, no, definitely not something like, you hear from the news, because of course they're selling shock value. That's how they keep their ratings,
Yeah, and what the statistics I've seen, the predictions, I guess we'll say, the kind of the sum of all of the major experts averages out to about 3.5% expected appreciation for year end of 2023. But there's some talk that in 2024, we're expecting some lowering of interest rates, which means that's a lot of people jumping back in the market that have been on the sidelines. That could be a big, push upwards for home values, because if you have more people competing for the same number of homes, it's going to push prices up again.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's the same, thing that we've, our same spiel that we've kicked to them a million times, basically, where the lack of inventory has always created this built up demand, for people being able to get affordable homes. And like you said, I'm hearing the same thing. First part of the year, 2024, into the spring market. If interest rates do happen to tick, we could see a serious storm. So I always tell all my buyers right now, hey, I know the interest rate is what it is. It's just whatever. But at the same time, if you need to move, like you said, death, divorce, what have you, or just transporting out if you're in the military. If you need to move, of course, you're going to make that move regardless. And the best thing is you'll be able to get the house that you really want, and not just something that you have to settle with. That's the biggest advantage for a lot of buyers right now. The ability for them to get what they want, even with low inventory, because a lot of the, competition is listening to the news. They're listening to the shock jock podcast. They're saying, oh man, this, that, and the third. And, it's totally untrue. It's totally untrue. I tell them, stay patient, stay focused, and hey, common sense always beats,
Yeah, you're right. And you know what else always happens? Real estate always makes money. Real estate always appreciates. Since 1942, 73 of those years have seen increases in property values. Only 7 years have we had any sort of flat or slight decreases. 5 of those years were between 2007 and 2011. And we all know what happened then. It was a big old bubble that was created by our federal government back then.
Correct.
Other 2 years were 1963 and 64. So over time, real estate appreciates. And in the short term right now, it's expected to continue to appreciate. And what we all know from our basic economic courses, price is set by supply and demand. And we in the United States, 51% of the US population is under age 30. So that is a huge bubble of people coming into the housing market. They're going to need a place to live as they leave mom and dad. There's going to be a lot of demand for a lot of years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like you said, that, that small pocket, and it's not small pocket, 51%. 51% is huge. When you think about the amount of people under 30 years old that will be jumping into the housing market if they aren't already. The smart ones, as we know, are there already. They're already buying their first home or investing, here or there. But like you said, once you put that with what we already have right now, that's going to be something that I look forward to, because I'm able to help. You're able to help. We can help anybody.
Yeah.
At
And
any
mortgage rates
pace or
are
speed.
scary. If we're
Right.
looking at historical averages, we're average to maybe even a little below average. So
Right.
last week, it was a rough week for mortgage rates. For a conventional mortgage, rates were mid to upper sevens, and upper sevens is the historical average in that time frame we were talking about. So we were average, and we had some global unrest this weekend, and that actually has helped mortgage rates a little bit, starting to put some downward pressure on. So we're probably more like low to mid sevens on a conventional 30-year fixed. Your FHA VA, you're probably mid to upper sixes. You can certainly get as low as you want, buying down, et cetera, et cetera. But in general, historically, rates aren't too bad. We just got so used to the ridiculously low rates of the pandemic, which was
Right.
the government printing money that it didn't have and lending it at low rates, which is now why we have inflation and everything is so expensive, including mortgage rates.
Yes.
So, this didn't just happen by accident. It happened by some bad decisions from our folks in DC, but we won't get too into politics. That's just really kind of financials. But one thing to keep in mind, I don't know if you have seen the upcoming presidential candidates. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talking about running as an independent, and this isn't a political philosophy, but he did say that it would not surprise him in the next decade if 60% of residential real estate was owned by 3 major corporate investors.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it on my Facebook page. And it's very real. They are out there buying because they know real estate is a great investment. So that almost puts a little bit of a panic button, like, oh my goodness, I need to go out and get my piece of the American dream before Big Brother snaps it all up.
Yeah. Hey, it's true. The facts are there. And that's sometimes what bothers, a lot of people, or what stagnates them. They tend to just listen to what the news says instead of going to research it. Because if they actually research, they can see exactly what he was saying wasn't a ploy. It wasn't a ploy for a political gain. It was actually the truth. He was pulling the curtain, but behind on the Wizard of Oz, just like, hey, explode.
They're already doing it. They're
doing
buying up
every
residential real estate because they know it's a smart long-term investment.
Yes, they do. So much so, like we were talking about Forrest values, and this is another chart that you guys will see pop up here as well. But from 1991 until second quarter 2003, the percent change in home prices were right around 300%.
Wow.
So 300% difference in prices from 1991 to 2023. If that doesn't tell you, okay, for the last 30 plus years or more, we've been continually gaining when owning real estate. Why is it not the best decision you can make when you're thinking about investment or your future?
Yep, absolutely. I wish I still had the houses I bought in the 90s.
Great investments, huh?
They would have been had I hung on to them. But, when you're in the phase of life with family and kids, and I had to relocate several times with my job, you were just thinking off to the next thing.
That's it, man. We live and we learn. That's why, I guess if we had something like this back when, back in the day, 20 years ago, they could have gave us this same advice that we're giving to the people. Man, they could have really used that as a leg up on the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there's some great programs for that. I mean, especially if you have a young person, they can find multifamily, like a duplex, where they can live in one and rent out the other. You can use an FHA mortgage of 3.5% down. You can use a conventional mortgage with as little as 5% down. You can get credit for the rental income from that other unit to help you qualify the proposed rental income. So if you can find the duplex, that's a great way to get started and rent out one of the units to help you pay your mortgage.
Absolutely. That's the advice I preach to my own kid. I tell my kids all the time, hey, when you get ready to move out, don't just move out and rent a place. Move out into something like a duplex if it's available, or triplex, something that you can afford, but also have, your buddies or whatnot rent an apartment from you and turn that into income.
Stay there for a year or two, and when you're ready to move to the next one, keep it. Then use your next one and the next one and the next one to build a real estate rental portfolio. You've got people paying the mortgage payments for you, maybe even some extra income there. You can get a great property manager like from the Bell Tower team to even manage the property for you, and you just keep gaining all of that real estate equity over the years.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's a win. In real estate, there is rarely, very rarely, I'll say that again, very rarely any losses, unless you don't do your research or connect with a great mortgage lender like Kevin or a realtor like me or my team.
Yeah, man.
Outside of that, you really can't lose, to be honest with you.
Hey, we've covered a lot today. We've been chatting a while. I'm sure we could go on for another several hours.
At least.
But yeah, man, it was great catching up, and I look forward to doing it again next week. If anybody needs me, loanswithkevin.com, or you can always give me a shout at the office, 757-645-0196, and that's Kevin Onizuk.
Sounds good. Hey, Kevin, thank you so very much, my friend. Have a great week.
Thank you, Earl.